Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
Fall is here, which means it's time to dive into a new lineup of autumn flavors at Wings and Rings. Your home away from home during football season. Their all-star lineup of wing sauces is adding 2 new impact players, curry garlic and pumpkin chili. Need something delicious before kickoff? How about starting your meal with their brand new chorizo nachos and loaded fries? You better act fast. These new tastes of autumn won't be here long. So make the trip to one of their 2 Lincoln locations today on O Street or Village Lane. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier Kawasaki dealership. Score big on Kawasaki's all-new Ridge lineup. The Ridge XR, the Ridge HVAC, and the Ridge Limited. All built to take on your day with a full factory cab, including heat and AC. Stop by Indian Motorcycle of Lincoln today and rule the streets on an Indian motorcycle with customer cash and trade-in credits up to $2,000 during the month of November. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln at 27th and I-80.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, 2-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at WindowWorldLincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
As you're gearing up for Christmas, it's time to head to Tailored Life in Bennett to get ready with local shopping. Make the short drive down Highway 2 for tons of items for your home for both indoors and outdoors. Check out their variety of Christmas trees in all different colors. Plus, many other fall and winter holiday items and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors, plus convenient drinks and snacks, most of which are produced locally. Visit Tailored Life today in Bennett and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's another edition of Outside the Box here on 93.7 The Ticket. Joel Norman alongside the assistant coach, goaltending and assistant coach Art Bry, filling in for Rocky Russo this week. We are happy to have you along with us here chatting Lincoln Stars hockey, and what a time to be doing it. Gotta love that. We bring on the goaltending coach after a weekend where the team scores 15 goals. Granted, we did have a shutout in there, Art. Happy to have you here with us. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm super excited.
Absolutely. Art, it was a fun weekend for us in Chicago. I think Saturday's game was certainly one. If you weren't a fan of the two teams, you maybe enjoyed it a little bit more, that 8-5 win, but last Friday's 7-0 win at Chicago might have been, at least in my eyes, probably the most satisfactory win of the season to this point. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that full 60 minutes for us was really exciting because we were able to walk in with the game plan and fully execute that game plan. So from the goaltending, obviously, we played well, to the D-core, a lot of guys stepped up collectively, to the forwards who were able to put the puck in the net numerous amount of times. So it was definitely really exciting, and we were really happy that we were able to carry that into Saturday as well.
I think the thing that stood out to me the most was how in the third period, already leading that game, I think it was four. Yeah, it was 4-0 heading into the third, and we kept the foot on the gas. 3
Mhm.
goals in the third period, outshoot them. I think it was 24-5.
Mm-hmm.
There was no point where this team seemed content with, hey, we've got a lead going into the third period. It seemed like it was still, hey, it's still business as usual. Was that something you guys talked about with them in the locker room prior to period number 3 on Friday?
I think the veteran experience of our group speaks to that a little bit. But at the same time, when you're scoring goals, when pucks are going to the net, when you're able to break pucks out well, we have possession, we're getting power plays. There was a lot of things that were going our way that allowed for high energy. So obviously, collectively, we wanted to make sure we played that full 60, like I mentioned. But sometimes you get the bounces going your way, and it makes it that much more fun to compete. So we definitely saw that on Friday.
Created some of those bounces too. A couple turnovers leading to goals, but I mean, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the efforts of Gio DeJulian from this week, leading all USHL rookies in goals. He has really announced himself the last few weeks, and he certainly did it in a dramatic way this past week. And a goal on Friday, and then that hat trick on Saturday.
Yeah, Gio's awesome. He's a great guy. He's a great kid. Great teammate. The boys love him. Competes his butt off. He works hard every day. Shows up to the rink. He's a little mini pro. Right, he came out of prepper, first year in junior hockey, and so he's still learning how to go about his business. But he's been awesome just to watch him do his things from the beginning of the season till now. So to see him get rewarded, it's no surprise. It's really exciting, obviously, but expect big things out of that kid for sure.
You talk about him being a pro. What's an element of his preparation, his game, something that stands out the most that makes you say that guy's a pro?
He has that dog in him, right?
Okay.
Like a lot of people like that saying. I think he's a true competitor, and so that allows him to show up daily and get the most out of his reps. For some guys, it becomes a challenge to show up to the rink every day. It kind of becomes mundane, and we play such a long season and we practice so hard that sometimes it becomes challenging. Whereas certain guys have that mindset of they're here to compete and they're here to get better, and that's him. Nothing really phases him. You can try to get under his skin. I try to chirp him sometimes, and he doesn't really allow it. And then he just goes out there and he scores, right? And he plays well. He possesses the puck. He's got great speed. So I just think his mentality more than anything, especially being a younger guy, quote unquote, is awesome.
And it seems like he's one of those guys, no matter who he's played with, he has found a way to score. We've seen that. The lines can change up. You want to switch up the momentum. You want to get guys going when they're a little slow and things aren't quite going that way. But he's a guy, I think we look back and it's like, it hasn't really mattered who he's played with, has it?
No, not at all. He likes to push the pace. He likes to have the puck on his stick. And when you have that tempo to your game, you're definitely going to start creating.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're creating for yourself or you're creating for your teammates. And when you have a relentless pursuit of dogging the puck and forecheck in and getting back over top, you're going to create opportunities for yourself and your line mates. So it's no surprise that he's able to be a driver of a line and obviously be rewarded with some goals this weekend.
Yeah, it certainly was. Leading, as we mentioned, all USHL rookies in terms of his goals being scored this season. He's sitting at 10 on the campaign. That also leads the Stars line mates this past week. Alex Pelletier also scored. Darren Anderson does a lot of the gritty stuff. Maybe doesn't always get the points to show for it. We've got a few guys like that where they have some of these games where they have such a huge impact, but maybe aren't always rewarded with the points. But it seems like that unselfishness of this team, top to bottom, it's been a theme really from the start to right now, hasn't it, Art?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, that speaks to the culture we're building in that locker room more than anything. One of the awesome things about here in Lincoln is we're so process oriented all the time that just starts to blossom naturally, so to speak. And so we have guys coming back from last year who are able to pick that up for us and get that going. And then obviously the coaching staff's preaching things like that. So the selfless attitude is definitely something that we're really, really harping on all the time because we have big aspirations as a group. Obviously, we got off to a hot start. We feel like we have a group that can really make some noise down the stretch here and obviously in the playoffs and whatnot. So preaching that type of mentality now more than ever is just going to prepare us down the stretch. Obviously, we play such a long season that you have to make sure you're focusing in on the right things because you're not always going to win, right? But if you can make sure that you're focusing on your process, you're focusing on the things that are going to, get those wins for you, more often than not, you're going to end up on that right side of things. So for us as a group, that's definitely something that we're harping on all the time because we know we're going to be down there at the end of the season, making a run for it. So start preparing now, so to speak.
That's one of the cool things is that was something you guys stressed so much at this time last year when the team was struggling. It was trust the process. Let's continue to build. And now a lot of those guys who return, they're reaping the rewards, which has been really fun to see as a whole. Chatting Lincoln Stars hockey here on Outside the Box. We'd love to have some of your questions in. If you've got any, text us at 402-464-5685. Love to have a couple of people chime in. Goaltending assistant coach Art Bryan joining us here tonight, filling in for Rocky Russo. And Art, this coming week, continuing on this road swing, we're in the midst of a stretch where 6 of 8 games are away from the ice box. And it's good to have these sequences in a season where you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, in a sense. We love the routine of the home games, no question about that. But there's something about sometimes getting on the road that forces out, that uncomfortability, forcing you to have to find a new way to adapt. You can't use the excuse of, hey, we got bus legs today, or, we got in late last night. It's, we've got to go. This team's ready to play, so we've got to be ready as well. And I thought the way this team looked against Chicago was a really good sign, but no question about it. This is a big test this weekend in Waterloo, isn't it?
Yeah, it's obviously really exciting too. I think that road warrior mentality is something that the fellas have embraced fully. They like getting on the bus. They like traveling into some hostile environments and having to rally together, kind of us against the world mentality, so to speak. So for some of our newer guys that stepping into the Waterloo building, obviously the bigger sheet of ice, it could be a challenge. But with our veteran group, we've had some success there over the seasons, and it's going to be a real good test for our group more than anything. So we're prepping, we're getting ready for it. And we're really excited for that challenge.
It's so interesting when you look at the last few seasons. Your first year, really good success in that building in the regular season. Obviously didn't play there in the playoffs, played them in the postseason. Your second year, the 2022-23 season, really tough time playing that building in the regular season, win a series there in the playoffs. And then same thing last year, tough in the regular season, win a series in the playoffs. It's one of those rinks where that part of the discussion there you always have to bring up is it's an Olympic-sized rink. It's larger. There's a lot more ice to cover. And usually Waterloo does a really good job. You know what? I'll have to see how they look on it this coming weekend, but they usually do a really good job of developing and getting the right defenseman in there to handle that in particular. Is that a challenge? How much, I always like to ask that, how much do you talk about that with new guys who haven't played at that rink before? Because it is kind of in a league of its own compared to the rest of this league, with it being a larger sheet compared to everyone else.
Yeah, I think you have to mention it. You can't just expect them to show up and just know, right? So obviously prepping them in that regard of it's a much bigger sheet. It's a loud building. The fans are on top of you. And so making sure that our angles are really good, making sure that we're protecting the middle of the ice really well, making sure that we're not chasing outside the dot line, so to speak. But I definitely think that we have some smart hockey players that are going to thrive in that environment.
Yeah.
It allows for more skating. It allows for guys to possess pucks, and as opposed to having to force plays in tight areas, maybe you can cut back, you could possess it, you could turn your body, and you have a couple extra feet to make a play. So as challenging as it is to handle the speed against, because Waterloo definitely does a great job of building teams for that environment, obviously with speed and high-end skill. I definitely think on the puck possession side, it could work to our advantage. We have a great team in terms of puck possession, and we're getting really, really good at it. We were harping regroups, we're harping breakouts, we're harping extending possession in the O zone. And so those few extra feet along the walls, I think, are going to be great for us. Our power play was awesome this past weekend. Yeah. Our puck movement, our puck relief, getting pucks to the net, that relentless mentality was really, really good. So hopefully we're able to carry that into this weekend and kind of catch Waterloo by surprise.
Several things you brought up there I really wanted to expound on. The first off was going to be the crowd of Waterloo. The second thing I thought was, I'll say this one before we get into the crowd. You just talked about the wall play. We've seen that be a difference in games in that arena. How you manage the wall and then are able to exploit that empty space has absolutely been a factor. That can be the difference in a game, can't it?
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Yeah, and the other thing you mentioned the crowd. That's one of those places I think it might have one of the best home ice advantages in the USHL. With it's similar to the icebox in the sense that that noise sounds maybe double what it actually is. Part of it's the
Mhm.
cowbells, of course. That's
Yeah.
certainly a challenge, but I imagine that's something that players really look forward to. You remember a couple years ago when Doug Grimes was in the box, Waterloo had a guy, and they were shifting the camera back and forth, and the crowd's on, and the camera's on the Waterloo player, everyone's cheering. When it's at Doug, they're booing, and then Doug's going like he's putting his hand to his ear while it's going. I mean, that's an opportunity for guys to be the bad guy on the road in a way, isn't
Mhm.
that?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where um, a lot of competitive athletes thrive in that environment. For some, they don't like it, but I think if you're a real competitor, you walk in and it almost becomes easier to play at times because you don't have to worry about that pressure of performing in front of your home fans and wanting to execute. You get to go in and be the bad guy, so to speak. And so having that alter ego we like to talk about in the locker room at times to where you get to put on that character and play that character. And so Dougie's a perfect example of someone who likes to play the villain and just rolls around in it and just enjoys it. And so he was able to elevate his game in that building. I think of guys like obviously Whitehead and Marcellus in that playoff run,
That too.
to where they thrive in that hostile environment. So it definitely is home ice advantage, a lot of energy for maybe catching teams by surprise. But I think for the experienced athlete, maybe it's something to where you like stepping into that building because it's such a fun environment to compete in.
Who's someone who's like that on this team who likes to be the villain? Maybe on the road and saying, "Hey, what do I have to do?" I look at, I think Michael Sandrix, an obvious answer there. I would say when healthy, Caden Harrington has
Mhm.
seemed like he can be that guy as well. Who are some other guys you think of in that role with this team?
Well, obviously I'm biased, but Jan Shostak
Yep.
loves to play the villain,
Yep.
especially in that building. He definitely has had some success there. But I think there's a lot of guys in that locker room that are just competitors in that regard. So I think all of them would be more than willing to don that cape in terms of playing the bad guy for us. And that's what's so exciting about our group. We have a really competitive group. We have a really smart group that likes to play hard.
Yeah, looking forward to heading out to Waterloo. It's one of those places the last 2 years where we've gone back there, and at least for me, I can be a little more sentimental. I'm not trying to specifically win a game. I can go in and go, wow, it's here we go. There's those good feelings again from the last time that we were here. But obviously, all that goes out the window once the game starts. So going to be a lot of fun. We can't not mention Jan's efforts though last year in the playoffs. I mean, just the one goal allowed. He was the difference in game one, game two. The floodgates just kind of opened midway through that first period. It felt like he didn't allow a goal in the series until late in what would have been the third period of game two. So it almost took full 6 periods for them to score. So it was so fun to watch him do that. You brought up the power play, though. 7 of 9 this past week. And the only reason there's any 0 for 2s in there is because of scoring on majors multiple times. But technically, the Stars scored on every power play they had last weekend. I've talked to Rocky before, and you say, "Hey, we can get over 30%, we're thrilled." We can go 1 for 4 on a night. That's a pretty good night. To be just about perfect, I had to say a lot about the opportunities, sensing the moments to shift momentum, but also just the growth of this power play unit.
Yeah. When I look at this past weekend, something that we did a really good job of was maintaining possession, and we did that with our relief plays. I think of guys like Matt Malte, who is one of our older veteran guys, and he was so good at getting to loose pucks, possessing him, rim relief, getting him back up top, and allowing us to extend possession. I think of the underhandling of our passes to where we're able to catch it, move it, catch it, move it, catch it, move it, as opposed to catching it, holding on to it, moving it, holding on to it, skating, and just slowing things down. I thought we had great pace, and we had an eagerness to want to get pucks to the net. So they've been sticking with it. They've been repping it out, and they're getting rewarded. And so I think it's up to them to maintain that belief and that confidence. And obviously, it's great to score goals on the power play, but you want to bring momentum back to the bench, and you want to make sure that you maintain possession, you don't give up any shots, let alone goals against, and you generate something into where maybe they get a good block or goalie makes a good save or we hit the post or what have you, to where As long as we're bringing momentum back to the bench, it's going to be a success for us. But to see them get rewarded in the fashion that they did was awesome.
It was really cool, and it was so many different guys. It felt like everyone who was out there had a really good chance to score. They were making the right decisions as a result. One thing I've seen with this team early on in the season is you give the Lincoln Stars a 5-minute major power play, more often than not, they're going to cash in. 2 goals this past Friday, got 1 on Saturday late in that game. And then you look back a few weeks ago, back when we were in Youngstown, that was the difference in a game there. We were leading 1-0. Late in that one, a 5-minute major, 2 goals from that. This is a team early on, and this is that thing. It's kind of the the mark of a champion. I always feel like where you have an opportunity to flip the momentum in a game, and you fully. It's not just that you reverse momentum a little bit. It's that you do everything you have to do in that moment to seize it, and that seems like something this team does a really good job of. Okay, here's an opportunity. This is our chance. It's great, but we have to actually do something with it. And this team really seems to do that. They seem to rise to the occasion.
Yeah, when you are a clutch athlete, you recognize those moments and you take that responsibility. And just like with our penalty kill, where they deem that responsibility of defending the net, the power play takes that responsibility as well, to where they know that they're given that privilege of getting to play on the power play. Obviously for skill and talent and hard work, but there's still that aspect of, okay, I have a responsibility and I owe it to my teammates to not just perform, but to execute. You get guys like Burkar, you get guys like Loomer, you guys like Lassard, you guys like Harrington, who are able to get pucks to the net and get quality shots off and find the back of the net. It's awesome to see. But I definitely think we have that aspect, right? We have some big time saves when we need it. We have some big time blocks when we need it. We have some big time plays defensively. We've had some great efforts offensively. And so I think our guys recognize those moments and recognize that, okay, if we're going to be a team that's serious down the stretch, we need to recognize these situations and take full advantage of them. And so we're chugging right along in that aspect, but we'll definitely see if we can keep that going.
Last question for you before we head to break. Obviously, fans aware of how the decor has been a little bit recently, banged up. A couple of guys have been hurt at times there. We had to bring in Brady Cunningham last weekend. Did a really nice job from the Chicago Mission program. I mean, what an excellent job filling in. Nick Young was right back in the lineup Saturday, which is nice. But Caden Harrington's still on the shelf right now. How have you seen guys really step up amidst these injuries, suspensions, whatever it's been to that decor in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, more ice time, which absolutely helps with getting in the rhythm of things. But we have really good defensemen. We have defensemen who are experienced. We have defensemen who want to be playing big time minutes. And so, Harry goes down, making a huge time block for us, sacrificing himself. Guys rally around it. The decor is so tight. So I think of guys like Henny, who's been awesome. I think of guys like Weber, who's been awesome. I think guys like Griff, who probably had his best hockey this weekend. He was awesome on Friday, carried that into Saturday. Guys like Young, who was able to step up for us in a big game, against Fargo and put his body on the line as well. I mentioned Lassard, guys like Rombach, who were able to eat guys up and eat up minutes for us. And then bringing in guys like Cunningham, who super young kid, but you wouldn't have known. You would not have known. He stepped right in and he did a fantastic job. So I think collectively from that point of view, we've done a great job bringing the right guys in terms of our GM making smart moves and who we're bringing in. So, guys go down, but at the same time, it's just more opportunity.
And guys, like you said, really stepping up, and I'm sure they're loving a little extra ice time as well with that as well. I'd like to check up the phone line here. We've got a few questions, I believe. Don't forget, you can text us questions at 402-464-5685. Harrison, we got one right now?
Yeah, just one. I want to get out of here before we let Art go. Just a compliment on the mustache for Art right here from the unknown texter.
Unknown.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, there we go.
Both of them. Both of them, not just Art. Says those mustaches.
Those. We
compliment both of them.
We appreciate that. Art, I was partly inspired by you this year to finally give it a go with the stash, because the last few years I haven't. And I was like, you know what? This is the year to fully commit. I was like, hey, you can do it. I was like, look, Art's got it and looks pretty good, so I'm going to go give it a shot. So,
well, yours looks way better than mine.
Yours is thicker.
You're doing a great job.
Yours is thicker though than mine is. That's the difference. I've got to go in a little longer down, but that's a choice. But you got the density on yours, so you got me beat there. Art, thank you for joining us here, and we're looking forward to this weekend with Waterloo. It should be fun.
Yeah, thanks so much, Phil.
That was Art Bry, Stars goaltending and assistant coach. I'm Joel Norman. We'll take a quick break and have more to come in a moment on Outside the Box.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2024 Ford F-150 for $395 per month. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1003769, $395 per month lease with 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, $5,250 to assigning, no security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 11/30/24. See delivery details.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Bryant at 402-467-1111 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-1111.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Mulberry Barbecue is the answer to all your lunch and dinner cravings. They have everything from smoked turkey sandwiches to brisket burritos to burnt-in sandwiches and pulled pork. Try a dinner plate option of barbecue nachos, a half-smoked chicken, a full slab of ribs, and so much more. Don't forget their great sides like mac and cheese, cheesy potatoes, barbecue beans, or red slaw. Mulberry Barbecue, open Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The Link Grill, Draft, and Crafts is your spot in Southeast Lincoln for great food and drink. They're serving new menu items and a killer craft cocktail menu with your favorite draft beers. You'll love their pizza and new entree option. It's a great place to watch any live events, and they have music bingo every month. They have an aggressive loyalty program that rewards fans with 7% back on all purchases. Home of the Nebraska Power Hour every night from 8 to 9 p.m. Order online at thelnkgrill.com or stop in at 84th and Highway 2 today.
Nebraska's Christmas Light Show is back and bigger than ever. The Magical Lights of Lincoln Christmas Show runs from Black Friday through New Year's Eve at Sandhills Global Event Center. Bring the family for a show they'll never forget, featuring over 1.5 million lights. Cost is $25 per vehicle from Monday through Thursday, $30 on Friday and Saturday, and also $30 on Christmas Eve and day. Purchase your tickets online today at ChristmasLightsInLincoln.com and get ready to experience a drive-through light show like you've never seen before.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com. General Fire and Safety has been keeping Lincoln businesses and commercial structures safe for more than 50 years. From a simple fire extinguisher to full fire suppression systems, Lincoln has trusted General Fire and Safety to provide top-of-the-line products, installation, and maintenance. If you're starting a new business in a brand new building, call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits the specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Call General Fire and Safety today at 402-261-0116.
Hard work. It's what drives Nebraska. It defines our strength. Men like you live it every day. But sometimes living up to those expectations can be overwhelming. If you're struggling, call or text 988. You'll get skilled, caring support 24/7. Live up to a different kind of strength. The strength to ask for help. Paid for by the University of Nebraska Public Policy Center. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Early break.
You're going to give me crap for this? I was not in the stands for the blocked field goal kick.
This is what? I did what? You did the
I knew.
again?
No, this is why.
Oh, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Whatever you're going to say,
I knew
I'm not even going to believe.
Early break from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back again on Outside the Box, chatting Lincoln Stars hockey here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Joe Norman as we're joined by Stars forward Dashiell Oliver ahead of this weekend series. Lincoln at Waterloo Friday and Saturday. And Dash, thanks for being with us first off. Second, usually don't have to say much more than Lincoln versus Waterloo, as you certainly see in the past few years with this team.
yeah, it's gone way back now. What is that? It's back-to-back years.
3 straight years playing the playoffs.
Yeah, so 3 straight years playing them first round, and they obviously got us that first year, but back-to-back years going into their place and getting the job done. So
that's one of those places. It's satisfying to win there.
Oh, 100%.
Because
yeah.
I mean, and credit to them, they have one of the better home atmospheres I think in this league.
Mm-hmm.
You've been around, you've been at each spot. I'll put that out there for you. What would you say, not including Lincoln? Give me your top 3, whatever order you want to do. Top 3 environments when playing on the road in the USHL.
I definitely say Waterloo, Fargo, and then in the East, I want to throw in
You want to throw an Eastern team in?
I
Okay.
want to throw in an Eastern team, but I haven't been to all the rinks. I'll just stick to the West. I'd say probably. I mean, Omaha always brings a good crowd.
Omaha does, yeah.
But I don't really like the. I mean, I don't want to give them the credit. Yeah. But Omaha always has a good crowd.
Okay, I like those ones there too. I was going to say Fargo, the right games. That's one. That's a tough spot
their
to
rink
play.
is just like it's so hard to play in. And their fans are awesome. Their stadium's huge.
You go there in like a January and it's a Saturday night.
Mhm.
It's what else do you have to do, right?
Jammed. Yeah, it's literally
so
jammed,
that's a tough place to play as well. It was so funny when we went to the playoffs a couple years ago. Do you remember how quiet game 1 was?
Yeah, game 1 was what we played on a Thursday.
It was a
right?
Thursday
Yeah.
night, and it was like
dead. And then the next night was just absolutely roaring.
And that was the one we won. Was game 2 that year?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Game 1 was the day of the Phase 2 draft. So I felt like us and them were kind of just like, oh, that's right. We got to open up a whole new series tonight. And for me, I remember the way game 1 started with, again, it's a Thursday night. It's tough to sell tickets for that, not faulting anyone. I remember thinking, I had to remind myself. I was like, oh, this is the Western Conference Finals. After all that energy we've had in Waterloo for 3 days.
That's so true. Yeah. Because I remember even that Sunday game we played in Waterloo, it was packed.
Oh, yeah.
And it was that was the loudest game I think I've ever been to.
That was so fun. Just an incredible place. And we saw it again last year. Those were weeknights. A great atmosphere again. Obviously, didn't give them a ton of cheer about, so that certainly helped as well.
Yeah,
love to have you texting questions for us. 402-464-5685. Harrison, I believe we got one right now.
Yeah, this one from Nyla. Not necessarily a question, but all those cowbells and Waterloo, all caps, awful. How distracting are those? Obviously, I've never been up to Waterloo before, but I'm
Yeah.
curious about those cowbells.
To give you and everyone else, before Dash answers the question, to give everyone an idea, it's one of those buildings where it's an older facility, so the acoustics aren't modern, which is the case in a lot of USHL facilities. So the crowd feels like it's double what it actually is. So, and a lot of their fans, it's a big thing just in Iowa for hockey, especially.
Right.
There's a lot of cowbells there. But yeah, is that ever tough when you guys maybe have a timeout or something you're trying to talk on the bench?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, especially like when their crowd's big and it's just like it hurts your ears. Like it's actually like it's like deafening and you kind of get like a headache from it. It's not necessarily distracting just because like you're used to crowd noise, but the sound in general is just like almost like painful. It's like, all right, let's calm down.
Yeah, we've had some fun nights there, especially in the playoffs. We've had some tough nights in the regular season in that building. I remember last year in November, there was back-to-back Fridays we went there. First Friday, losing a shootout, which was gut-punching because we rallied back late. The next night, I think they scored on every power play they had.
Yeah,
Do you remember that one?
That was bad.
That was because we went into the building that night being like, okay, we hung tight with them last week. We played pretty well. Let's see what we can do tonight. And it's like, oh, okay, we can't keep the puck out of the net tonight.
Yeah.
So that was tough. But that's
And even like the year before, they dominated us in the regular season.
They did.
And then like coming to playoffs, like we're definitely like they had that in our mind. Like they're like these guys have put it to us the whole year. So
Yeah.
we gotta show them something.
2 years in a row where that happened,
Mhm.
where again, and it kind of happened to them the year before. You look back, I mean, there was 3 seasons ago now. Stars won the regular season series, I think pretty capably, lose to them in the first round. The next 2 years, like you said, Waterloo had our number in the regular season. There was no question about it. I remember some of those most frustrating losses from 2 seasons ago were against them.
100%.
Where
yeah.
it was the look it up and down. It's like, hey, what kind of team are we going to be? But then we found that extra gear in the playoffs. I look back. Let's start 2 years ago. I mean, that was, at least for me, my favorite playoff series I've seen this team be a part of
It was
in
just
2
like-
years here. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, the first game was just we blew them out, and then the second game it was like they came roaring back, and it was going into Sunday. It was like this is like literally coin flip. Like it was actually a coin flip, and we just kind of played better that game at the edge.
That was that Sunday game. I think it was a 3:00 puck drop.
Mhm.
I don't know how I'm sure you felt like this even more than I did. But I remember getting back to the hotel after game 2, and we lose. Wake up the next day, and it felt like the longest morning of your life. Did you feel that way
It
too?
did, yeah.
Where I was
Well,
like,
the
let's go.
And then the whole weekend was just like, what just happened? And then it was like, oh, we got to get on the bus to Fargo tomorrow, and I was like, okay.
Oh yeah, I mean that was such a great playoff series. I still say I really wish we'd had 5 games, even though we
that would've
won.
been fun.
I think
Yeah.
from the fan, like just for me, someone who's just watching, I was like, can you imagine if that had gone 5 games? Would we have had any players left? The way that was
Oh,
going,
it was getting.
I remember Buckberger took a beating in that
I think
series.
Dougie got suspended.
Yeah. That was the dynamics of that game too, where Doug got suspended and then their captain ended up getting suspended. I remember that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
And I remember after game 2, we pretty much knew Doug was going to get suspended. But then I got the hockey ops report the next day, and I remember being really negative going to game 3. I was like, okay, if we don't have Doug, we're really in trouble for this game. But then we saw that their captain was out, and it's like, well, wait a second. The playing field just kind of leveled itself here.
did, yeah.
And then Marcy just took over in that game, didn't he?
That line had a great game. Him, Larry, and I think he was playing with Tanner.
I think
it was those 3 playing together.
Oh, it was so fun to watch, though, the way they went in that series. And then last year, a different story where I remember just the way, I mean, I hear different things than you guys get to hear, but I remember just the way their employees were talking with the, once we win this series, and this is before game 1.
Yeah.
I was walking, I'm hearing them going, yeah, when we win this series, we would host this game this weekend. And I'm like, this is game 1.
Yeah.
Like this isn't game 2. This is game 1 right now. Like, let's slow our roll a little bit. And then you guys get, put a heck of a
I'll
statement.
give credit to Jan. I mean, without Jan,
Holy
we don't win that series at all. That first game was all him.
Unbelievable.
He played amazing that first game, and then second game we just kind of stomped him.
The shutout in that one, yeah. Game 2, it just felt like we got the 1 goal early on. I think it was
Janzi first shift,
And then-
spins from the blue line.
That was
shift
the
that, like,
moment.
2 shifts later, and it was just like we just looked over at their bench, and it was just like they were crumpled.
Oh,
They
yeah.
were just like we're going home. Like they kind of knew.
I felt that too. When Spinelli, he just threw it at the net in the blue
Mhm.
line and it goes in. It's like, okay, we got it now.
Yeah.
But and then again, it's fun to reflect on these things, but it is a new season. There are guys who are back from their team who are obviously they really want this game
Yeah,
because they
100%.
remember what happened
Yeah.
last year. I was talking to Art a moment ago, talking about the opportunity for you guys to go on the road and be villains sometimes.
Yeah.
And I know every team in this league, I know a lot of guys love to do that. Is that something for you, 4 seasons playing in this league? You ever think about that in certain buildings, being like, hey, I want to really, especially in this place, I really want to be a spoiler.
Yeah, no, 100%. Waterloo is one of those places. Omaha is one of those places. I mean, obviously you want to win every game, and you're not going to win every game, but there's certain rinks for sure that you kind of have that like little chip on your shoulder going in.
Mhm.
We're gonna have a chip on our shoulder this weekend. Even though we've already beaten them once this year, it doesn't really mean anything. We want to just keep stopping them, prove them a message.
I asked Rocky before. I said, "Who's the Stars' biggest rival right now, 2024?" And he said a few weeks ago, he said it's Waterloo.
Yeah,
You look at the
I would
last
agree.
few years under his regime, when you played them every year in the playoffs, for him, that's the biggest rivalry. You feel the same way?
Yeah, I would agree.
I think it's hard not to with the playoff history.
Yeah, just
right?
I mean the playoff history, and I think the way the series have gone, like they've been pretty even throughout. I mean, 2 years ago they kind of had us, but last year it felt even almost like the way we played them in the regular season. Even though I think they did,
They won the season
season
series.
series, but it felt kind of even. 'Cause I remember we had them a couple games, and like it just didn't feel like they had that much of an edge on us.
compared to
so,
the year ago,
yeah,
I felt the same way because they really loaded up 2 seasons ago. They made a
trades,
lot of big
so
trades.
many moves, and
yeah,
what did we won? We beat them once, I think.
We got
We're
them
like 1-5.
I think we got 1 or 2 that regular season. Yeah, not in that building. I don't think
we just won. I think it was just the one game at home. Pretty
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, that's right. I forgot about that because we had the one night where it was 2 games at home. I think it was at the end of March, beginning of April. The first night we came out ready to roll. Like I think we had 50 shots on goal in that game. We won. And then the next night we were held to 1 shot in the first period and we lost that one. I remember that was bizarre. That was something I remember thinking. I was like, this doesn't make any sense at all. But that's, I guess, sometimes
1 shot is crazy.
It is a little nuts. But some fun games with them. I have to double check this. I don't think we've won in that building in the regular season the last 2 seasons. The only wins the last 2 seasons we've had there have been in the postseason. If I'm remembering right, I need to double check that, but I'm almost certain that that's true. And it's so strange because, like we said, we've had some big moments in the postseason. The last 2 campaigns, we're 4-1 there,
Yeah.
which is nuts to think about. I don't think
Maybe it just feels like we've won there because we won in the playoffs.
Exactly. But like I'm remembering last year because we had that trip in November. I don't know when else we went there off the top of my
We
head.
went there.
It was in the spring. I'm trying to remember
I
either.
don't remember.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I do not remember.
But I know we've had trouble there in the regular season, and it's so strange. Like we said, 4-1 in that building in the playoffs the last 2 years, but strange stuff. So that'll be something for this weekend. We'll take a quick break. We're going to talk a little bit more here with Stars forward Dasha Oliver. I'm Joel Norman, and this is Outside the Box on 93.7 The Ticket.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Be sure to check out the top-selling Recomp. Recomp helps build lean muscle and strength while decreasing body fat. Recomp is ideal for men and women of all ages trying to look their best. Recomp can only be found in Nutrition Authority. For info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
One great idea can change your life.
ABC Fridays. Shark Tank is all new with guest shark Todd Graves, founder of Raising Cane's.
I love that entrepreneurial drive, and I live it every day.
Emmy-winning Shark Tank Fridays 8/7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu.
The Link Grill Draft and Crafts is your spot in Southeast Lincoln for great food and drink. They're serving new menu items and a killer craft cocktail menu with your favorite draft beers. You'll love their pizza and new entree options. It's a great place to watch any live events, and they have music bingo every month. They have an aggressive loyalty program that rewards fans with 7% back on all purchases. Home of the Nebraska Power Hour every night from 8 to 9 p.m. Order online at the lnkgrill.com or stop in at 84th and Highway 2 today.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
At Coppell Chevrolet GMC, we are thankful for so many things this year, starting with our great employees, a generous community, our military personnel, and most importantly, our loyal customer base that continues to drive that money-saving mile of Louisville. Hi, this is Sean Callahan, and on behalf of everybody at Coppell, we want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving and safe travels to wherever they may take you. Happy holidays from Coppell Chevrolet GMC.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Hard work. It's what drives Nebraska. It defines our strength. Men like you live it every day. But sometimes living up to those expectations can be overwhelming. If you're struggling, call or text 988. You'll get skilled, caring support 24/7. Live up to a different kind of strength. The strength to ask for help. Paid for by the University of Nebraska Public Policy Center. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Tanner's Bar and Grill is the best place in Lincoln for a casual get-together, best place to watch a game, and the best for pre- and post-game. Catch college and NFL football as well as the volleyball action this season at Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. What's better than wings, cold beer, and a Husker win? Enjoy great food and drink specials every day and tons of TVs to catch all the action. Tanner's Bar and Grill, 30th and Yankee Hill.
The Locker Room with Chancellor Brewington and Mikey Daniel.
You know, Raiola and Hogerson, I'm sure, have had plenty of one-on-one meetings. We're going to close the door behind us, and I'm going to say, hey, what did you like from this offense? What did you not like? You know, Raiola knows at the end of the day what's really going on with this offense. To be honest, that's what needs to catapult this offense. And this whole team is Raiola's play. You know, Stats philosophy and Raiola's philosophy or Raiola's skill set just didn't match. I think this is going to match Raiola, and it's going to allow her his skill set to come out.
It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wrapping things up here on Outside the Box on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Joel Norman, joined by Stars forward Dasha Oliver as we look to ahead to this weekend, taking on Waterloo. Talked a lot about games with them the last few years. Dash, we got to talk about this past weekend. I didn't even get a chance to ask you about it. You, in your last 3 games, have twice had multi-goal games. Now, you have 3 in your career. Do you remember what the other one was? Your first USHL?
It was Green Bay last year.
Green Bay last year, yeah. I remember you almost had another one against Muskegon later in the season in January. That was the game where you had the goal, and then you had a fight in the first period.
Goal, assist, fight on the first period.
That was great. You got that Gordie Howe hat trick, I remember, in the
wild.
first period.
Yeah.
And I just remember, that was so funny because I remember you talked about it later, and I was like, you know, you probably had a chance at a couple more goals tonight if you were on the ice.
Yeah.
But you were like, I was just too juiced up in that moment. I had to drop them.
Yeah, just kind of blacked out. So
yeah, it's funny the way that works. But a great weekend for this team overall. 15 goals against Chicago. I mean, we knew this team could score. It had been a little bit since we had seen the offensive firepower to this extent. What do you see was the biggest reason for why the floodgates were able to open this past weekend in Chicago?
I think just it seemed like a lot of guys just seemed to simplify their game this weekend. I think we had guys that just played simple and did what we were kind of taught to do, and that kind of worked. But in the same sense, it was just like guys playing with some confidence, and like, you know, Janzi had a good weekend again. He got his first of the year, and you know, he's someone that's been his confidence has been building. He's been looking really good. Cater had 2 goals on Friday, and I think he's been looking really good too. So it's just, I think all like the little guys, I mean, not the little guys, but just guys on our team that haven't been scoring as much are starting to kind of chip in because they're more confident. They're doing what we've been taught, and it's been working.
Guys have been grinding. Kohanski's been one of the hardest workers. We've seen him just going to the corners. I kept thinking he's been so underappreciated. I don't know if it's like fans need to know his name, the way he's been important for us and helping the lines he's been on. And so it was nice to see him get a chance like that. And then Janzi too. He's been playing well the last couple of weeks.
I know, yeah.
I mean, I in particular, I saw the way the bench reacted. I had a big fist pump when he scored because I was like, yeah, that's my thing. When guys are playing well and they haven't been rewarded yet, I always am like, come on, let's just get them a goal. I always feel glad when those moments come. But it was just top to bottom, so fun to watch. And it was fun to watch you getting a chance to play back with Jack Bakar a lot because you did that so much last season.
Yeah.
When it was a couple of games ago now, you guys were kind of reunited, I think, against Fargo. When you guys got put back together, was that a nice thing where you're just kind of like, okay, it's like putting on an old shoe? I know where Jack's going to be on the ice.
Yeah, it really was, honestly. And I mean, there's a sense of like comfort with that. You trust your center a lot. You kind of know how he's going to play. Yeah, I mean, going into that Saturday game with Pex, I was like, yeah, we're going to have a good game.
Good to go.
It was like we saw each other lined up. We dabbed each other up. We were like, yeah, let's go. We're back.
And it worked pretty well. Both of you scored. You had 2 that night. You got a chance to play with Matt Malte as well. What was that like going with him?
It's awesome. He's been playing really consistently this year. That's what I've been noticing. He does the right things kind of all over the ice. And yeah, honestly, as a unit, we look really good in practice. We've been playing well in the games. I thought hopefully Friday we could have done more, but Saturday I think we showed a little bit.
Certainly busted out. Absolutely. That was a little scary moment when he took that big hit from Reed Kahn at center ice. Now he got a pass off to you at the blue line. You go the other way and you score, and he's absorbing all the contact. At what point after you scored did you realize, oh shoot, I need to go over and check on him?
Yeah, so it was just kind of weird. Like I scored, I went behind the net, and their defender was like blocking my view. So I'm like celebrating. I see Rombach, and he's coming over, and then I'm like looking at him like, where are the boys? And I just look back, I see Pex looking over Maltz, and I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then I just pull over and look at Maltz. I'm like, Maltz, you good? He just looks up at me and goes, what?
Oh my gosh.
And he was out of it, but I think he's doing fine.
He looked fine afterwards.
Yeah, I think it was just one of those stunners where it's like you just dazed for a second.
Yeah.
What's about you?
Yeah, and obviously we saw from that Reed Kahn for Chicago getting a 2-game suspension, but Maltz came out this next shift. He looked fine.
Yeah,
he looked fine after the game.
Was fine. Yeah, it was just one of those hits I think that just kind of catches you off guard. Get your breath back.
We were just, that's obviously really glad he's okay. But I just remember watching, because I was watching the replay, and they showed the replay on the board, the hit, and then they show your goal, and then the camera's following you afterwards. And I had that feeling what you were just saying. I was like, I don't think he was able to see it, because you started to celebrate, and then it's like, wait, where is everyone? And then it's like, uh-oh, that's why. So yeah, that was strange.
It was just weird. And then I came over to them, and we were just all looking at Maltz. We're like, Maltz, you good?
Yeah, right. Like, what can you do in that point?
Yeah.
But you guys certainly took advantage after that, getting more power play goals. So that 5-minute major that came from that. I was talking about that with Art. I mean, there's been, I think it's 3 games now this season where you guys have gotten a 5-minute major power play. And by my count of that, because there was the one in Youngstown, there was the one this past Friday, and then there was the one Saturday. So if there's another game I'm missing, there might be another. But of those 3 right there, that's accounted for 5 power play goals right there, and really shifted the tide in 2 of those games, especially.
Yeah.
It seems like when you guys have gotten opportunities this year, it's like, okay, here we go. There's no fear of rising to the occasion.
Yeah, 100%. I think, so I'm like on the second unit right now, kind of. We were kind of a driving force for a little bit. We were scoring pretty consistently, and then that first unit has got something clicking right now. And so I think it's like, as long as you just got a unit that's going out there that like really feels the juice and is like, yeah, we can put one in the net right now. That's just all you need. I mean, I don't really think we've had a stretch this year where our power play's been too bad. I mean,
couple tough games. Sioux City was the one.
Like, honestly, like we've been good just all year, and that's like so huge for your team as like momentum building. Just having a good power play shift, getting those chances, it makes them a little flustered just because they're like, okay, they almost scored, and so then they're thinking, and then you just get some offensive momentum. So that's
absolutely,
it's been huge for us for sure.
Yeah, I think that Sioux City game was the only tough one because that was an 0-for-5, and then 2 days later, first power play of the night, you guys gave them the back of that. So it's been fun to see how that has generated momentum. Well, Dash, we're really looking forward to this weekend. Waterloo, Friday and Saturday. Let's go get 4 points on the road. What do you say?
Yeah, why not?
Absolutely. Dash, thanks for joining us. That was Dashiell Oliver. I'm Joel Norman, and this once again has been Outside the Box on 93.7 The Ticket.